Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, Lincoln Park, and time for Head to Headlines. The funniest headlines of the week. We go through them and narrow it down to two, and then you decide the content of the show, which story we break down. We'll never talk about the other story again. In fact, it gets scrubbed from the internet. You'll never even see it again. So choose wisely. You text in headline 1 or headline 2 after you hear both headlines. Both of them are a doozy today. So these are two of the funniest headlines of the week. Headline number 1. Flights suspended after man is sucked in the plane engine on runway.
That's a tough day.
That's a tough day. Flights suspended after man is sucked into plane engine on runway. That is headline 1.
What part of him was sucked in?
Well, we don't know.
Also, it's tough to be like, so when are we going to get this flight going? When someone, like, when are you going to have him cleaned up, you think?
Ugh. All right, that's headline 1. If you want to hear more on that, text headline 1, but not until you hear headline 2, which is doctors find live eel swimming in man's abdominal cavity.
Oh, God.
One more time. Doctors find live eel swimming in man's abdominal cavity.
Oh, my God.
Oof, that's a rough day, too. I don't know which is a rougher day, to be honest. You find out there's an eel swimming in your body, or you get sucked into a plane engine.
Wouldn't it be shocking you, like, all the time?
I don't think all eels are electric.
Oh.
I'm not sure I know what an eel is now that I think about
I
it.
don't know what an eel
They're
is.
like, they're kind of like,
A water snake.
Oh,
Kind of.
God, that's terrifying. I definitely didn't know what an eel was.
What'd you think an eel was?
I don't know. I knew it was water, but I didn't know what it was. I've gone my whole life just pretending to know what an eel is.
I thought they were electric. Am I wrong?
There are electric eels, but they're not all electric. Some are solar. I don't know.
Some
That sounds like such a
boring.
put down. Yeah.
Frank over there, he's non-electric. Don't sit next to him in the lunchroom.
He's like, oh, yeah? Well, I got in someone's stomach.
Ugh. There's some things on the earth that you wonder why God created, like eels. Why do we need them? It's terrifying.
What else do you want to question God about?
That's it. Just
Okay.
eels.
That's your number one question.
Yeah.
You get up there, you get a little bit of FaceTime. That's what you're going to use.
Okay, you got 30 seconds with God. That's all you get.
With God's office hours?
Why'd you make eels? Why? What do they do?
He's going to be like, well, they affect the ocean in this way, this way, this way. And then that's it. That was your question.
Wait. What was the meaning of life? I want one more question. Take him out. All right, here we go. You decide. Text in headline 1 or headline 2 to 312-591-8300. We break it down after No Doubt.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Head to headlines. You decide the content of the show based on the headline alone. And here are the two headlines. We'll have the winner here in seconds. So headline number 1 was, flights suspended after man is sucked into plane engine on runway.
Damn.
And headline 2, also a bad day, doctors find live eel swimming in man's abdominal cavity.
Ugh.
I think people thought the first one pretty much told the whole story. The guy, flight suspended, the guy got sucked into an engine, and that's it. Then the plane eventually took off. So everybody seemed to vote for number 2 on this one. Doctors find live eel swimming in man's abdominal cavity. And that's the story we break down. You'll never hear us talk about the other story again. Let's get into it. A 33-year-old Chinese man who showed up at the emergency room with severe abdominal pain turned out to have a foot-long live eel in his abdominal cavity.
Oh, my God. Alive? How is
Alive.
that possible?
Well, I guess we'll find out. It was an unusual case, they say, so this is not normal. Just so you know, if you have a stomach, because people that have stomach pain, they think, I guess I got an eel in there.
Naturally.
And
That's
so,
my first thought.
So don't think that going forward. It's probably just something you ate. The man was sweating profusely, had a pale face, and was complaining of stomach pain. Again, could have been a lot of things.
That sounds like me.
Well, you probably got an eel in there. A CT scan showed the man's abdomen a foreign object that seemed to have pierced his stomach and ended up in his abdominal cavity and was moving.
Wow.
This is disgusting. Oh, God. This is like a Saw movie. The man's abdomen was already as hard as a board when they felt it. So he felt
Oh my
this.
God, that's like being pregnant. That thing's just in there. Ugh.
It is pregnant. There's something live in you.
Ugh.
And fearing peritonitis, the doctors decided to perform a laparoscopic emergency surgery. While exploring the man's abdomen, they were shocked to discover a live eel swimming in his organs. Oh, my God.
That's like finding an onion ring in a French fry bag. You just go, never would have thought that was here.
Yeah, but that's good.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
I feel a little bad for the eel. He had to be like, where the hell am I?
He's yelling
Where
for his friend.
is my family?
Not trying
Dark.
not trying to cause any trouble. I'm just trying to get back to the water.
And you know his wife's not going to believe him when he gets back to the water. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you were in some guy's abdomen.
Yeah, I'm sure you were seeing Trisha again. He's like, I really want that.
Oh, during the operation, they found that the eel had completely drilled its way through the intestinal wall and was now swimming in his abdominal cavity. This guy was walking around. He was in pain, but he was walking around like doing normal stuff.
Taking Advil, like that's gonna do anything.
The surgeon managed to grab the eel and then just take it out of his body. They sutured the hole up quickly, and the man is alive, and he's doing okay. He's actually already been discharged from the hospital. If I had an eel swimming in me, I say, I'm never leaving this hospital ever. You got to search every cavity for something. My wrist hurts too.
I would need some answers.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like, did you eat an egg on accident?
Well,
And then it grew inside of you?
we'll continue here. The eel is a lurking aquatic animal that's accustomed to living in environments such as like paddy fields, lakes, ponds, streams, canals. It's known to dig holes in relatively soft soil. I guess they thought this guy's butt was a soft soil. What in there? Now, the medical experts involved in the case did not discuss how the eel got in the man's colon, but the comment section was glorious. One person just said, everyone knows how he got the eel in there.
There's no way he wanted that. There's no way.
I don't know.
I don't know.
People are weird.
That just bothers me.
You know, my brother's a doctor, and he always says, if you ever get near a urologist, don't move, because they have the best stories about what ends up in people.
Is a urologist a butt doctor?
Well, all that. So front and back. Yeah, they could. Yeah, all of it.
What do you mean front?
What do you mean on the front?
The front side and the back side. Like you're in.
He's like a penis doctor?
Both. Yeah.
They have that?
Yeah.
You said front, I thought belly button. Like, I don't know that.
Yeah, urologists do all that. They have the best stories about what ends up in people's bodies. And they've not said how this eel ended up in there, but according to the comments, we know how it got in there.
But then why would he have been surprised? He could have been shocked that if he shoved it up him, he could have been like, hey, but there's an eel in there.
Yeah, but maybe he was wasted and just having a good time and forgot.
Hey, you sue a guy for putting an eel inside of him.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Music entertainment news. Coming up at the end, we have tickets for Sal for Impractical Jokers. Coming up at the end of it. Well, first off, I was raving about over the weekend the Black Sabbath farewell show with Ozzy and Black Sabbath and Tom Morello as the musical director, as the collabs that were on there were phenomenal. Now, I didn't pay for the entire 10-hour event. I'm hoping for some kind of pay now so I can fast forward through parts I just don't want to necessarily see. I want to be able to sit and watch it and pause it. And with live, I just couldn't imagine sitting down for 10 hours to watch anything. Now, people said it was available till Monday morning if you paid the $30 for the pay-per-view of it. I didn't do that either. I probably should have done that.
Okay, so that was your option. That's what you were looking for.
That's what I was looking for.
Was an on-demand service, which they had available.
Yeah, and I just ended up watching it all on Reels all weekend long, and I saw pretty much everything I wanted to see. But I really want to see everything I can at my own leisure. You know what I mean? Like, I think I saw everything I wanted to see, but really, as I see more clips, I go, boy, I really should have watched the whole thing. It's really good.
You
It's
sound
amazing.
told you to watch it.
Yeah.
What's that?
We told you to watch it.
I know. Saturday,
okay.
10 hours, I just couldn't do it. But if I would have bought it, I could have watched it at my leisure the next day and on the Monday morning.
Because you don't know if you've seen everything you wanted to see.
I don't. And every time I see a new reel come through, I go, oh, wow, that happened too? Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Now, they're claiming that they actually raised about $190 million for charity. It benefited Parkinson's, the Birmingham Children's Hospital, the Cure Parkinson's Center, and ACOM Children's Hospice, also over in England, because Ozzy has Parkinson's, and certainly was a charity event. There are rumors that one band got bounced from it because they wanted to profit from it. But Sharon Osbourne has not announced what band that is because they were trying to get a big payday out of doing it. But it still hasn't come out, as far as I seen, what band she's talking about that was trying to profit out of it. And I'm sure they all got paid something to get there.
Say, what's the problem with getting paid? It wasn't like charity, was it?
It was a charity event. So it was a charity event. That's why I said they a couple $100 million went to Parkinson's charities. And it was Ozzy's farewell to be a part of it. Would have been unique, too. So I have not seen that unless someone else has.
In a Reddit thread, fans theorizes from the New York Post that Sharon disinvited either Motley Crue or Kiss from performing at the star-studded farewell concert, with one person writing, "My guess is Motley Crue," while another...
That was my guess!
while another expressed the relief of not seeing Vince Neil, Nikki Sixx, and Tommy Lee on stage over the weekend.
I could see Kiss, though, over Motley Crue.
No.
Are you kidding me? They sell caskets.
Yeah, Gene Simmons is borderline evil.
They sell everything. I could easily see that. Like, well, guys, we'll get over there. If you send us about $8 million, we'll perform live to the end.
Good Gene Simmons.
I think
That's good.
But Motley Crue, I've even heard Soundgarden, which seems weird, and Foo Fighters as well on those Reddit threads. I went in there a little bit. But no, it's not been announced who did it.
Tucker said maybe it was Danzig, which would also be extremely on brand of Danzig to not do a charity show.
Well, I think
That's fair.
Yeah, I think Foo Fighters can be out because they don't have a drummer right now.
That's true.
And there was also some other issues on some of the other bands. So Kiss, Motley Crue could be.
Oh, man, we dodged a bullet with no Kiss and no Motley Crue. Thank God.
I wouldn't have minded Motley Crue. I don't need Kiss.
I like Motley Crue.
Yeah, I do too. I'm with you, Kenzie. I would have seen Motley Crue. Kay's not a Motley Crue guy.
I'd shut the blinds if they were in my backyard.
Well,
You don't have a backyard.
Thank you for saying that, Kenzie, because I'm tired of always throwing the shots.
Next.
And my guess is if you did have a backyard, you would have kept the shades open, but you don't have one.
Wait, I don't know if you're crying or laughing. Is he
Both.
shaking?
He got quiet over there.
All right. What's next in music entertainment news?
Let's keep going. Original Pearl Jam drummer Dave Grusin shares whether he'd rejoin the band following Matt Cameron's leaving the band. We announced that a couple days ago. Just so you remember, they've had 5 drummers. Dave Grusin was on 10. So when you hear Alive, when you hear Even Flow, that's Dave Grusin. And he joined the band kind of as a fill-in. He came back. Cameron joined the band in '98 after a fill-in after the departure of Jack Irons, who was also an incredible drummer for that band, and played for 27 years, played on Dark Matter, which I think is an underrated record, actually.
The most recent one.
The most recent one, which was, 2 years ago? I think 2024, I think last year.
So last year.
Yeah, last year's one. So Grusin played with Pearl Jam from 90 to 91 and played on the Masterpiece 10. And again, they've moved on so many times. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for playing on that. He says, I got a message yesterday morning. I didn't know what was going on. People were hitting me up like, I have no idea what the band's up to. And people were just kind of texting him, so are you in? Are you in? It's kind of like, you up? He didn't know. He was very surprised to hear that about Matt, but I'm excited for him and his new adventure, whatever he's got planned. And, of course, I'd love to jam with the guys again, he says. They know that. Oh, boy. That sounds like a bad ending there, too.
They know that.
A guy not in Pearl Jam says he'd love to be in Pearl Jam.
They know that. And I'm adding accentuations on they know that because I'm just reading it as text. But text can get accentuated like that. They know that. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was amazing, and sitting in with them, it was like no time had passed. It was just effortless playing with those guys. So, of course, I would love to. Sounds available to me. Sounds like he's ready to go.
Very available.
Sounds like he's, hey, guys, new phone, who dis?
Yeah, it's a little desperate. He's coming on a little strong.
For a guy that was on 10.
Yeah, good drummer.
On the best songs, arguably, they ever did of the 90s. He was on those as the drummer. You think they'd say...
Listen, they be firing good drummers, okay?
They have. Every drummer's been amazing, actually, for the band. I mean, they haven't had a bad drummer. They just had different eras where the music changed a bit, and they thought they needed a new drummer for those eras. For whatever
What do you
reason.
think the new era is going to be now?
Probably come out there with a little Casio drum machine and go dun 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 dun.
Yeah, maybe they just go EDM.
Yeah.
No,
Pearl Jam released an EDM album.
I was going to go with like the rap snare.
They're a big 808 influence on the new Pearl Jam record.
I could see Paulie D behind there with his
yeah.
DJ rig. They get a DJ instead of a drummer, and it's Paulie D.
When I listen to Pearl Jam, I think, not enough Timbaland in this song. They should really have Timbaland do the drums.
Let me tell you something. If they come out with Timbaland and Paulie D and Pearl Jam, That's a show for me, baby.
The next Pearl Jam starts off with DJ Khaled.
I'll go to Soldier Field. I'll do it.
All right, 312-591-8300. Sal Volcano and Practical Jokers playing Saturday, July 12th. That's this Saturday at Horseshoe Casino. You can get in the suite, and as we've made clear earlier, these are not just like, suite tickets. It's in an official suite, S-U-I-T-E suite. You get 2 tickets, got to be 21 and over, 312-591-8300. Call now. These are elite tickets from Brian and Kenzie and Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Get your takeaways in, 312-591-8300. Something memorable from today's show. Text that in right now, 312-591-8300. As we broke this story today, of course, WGN broke it first. They're our partners and friends on these investigative reports, like the Tiffany Henyard saga for 2 years, and that's over. As far as we know, allegedly Dalton's being run just fine now with no corruption. But the next is Country Club Hills District 160, the school district 160. Brona Tumulty of WGN continued her investigative reporting on the misuse of district funds. We found out $250,000 again on hotels, again to Vegas, the Bellagio, to dinners, including Cooper's Hawk and Orland Park. Might as well keep mentioning them as well because they're the only ones that get mentioned. Great place. But all these steak dinners using limos. And then last night, there was a board meeting, and police were called to last night's school board meeting of Country Club Hills District 160 after a heated confrontation between parents and board members over these corruption charges and talking about where's the money? You're canceling sports, but where's the money? You guys are going to Vegas. Topics on the agenda included the issues surrounding the first-class travel and pickup services, where board members were chauffeured to the airport allegedly in limos, and the future plans of current Secretary Jacqueline Doss. And here's that report from WGN.
WGN's Brona Tumulty has been following the spending issues in the district and joins us now from Southwood Middle School with the latest. Brona.
Good evening, guys. We could talk all night about the sheer number of issues we've heard about this evening, but overall, a very, very tense meeting indeed. One of the parents and a school board member's daughter getting into a verbal altercation at one point, prompting the arrival of police. Nadas did agree.
I love how it's just 5 seconds of yelling at each other. The cops there.
And that's a little taste.
just a little sample.
With us that the credit card expenses we put in front of her are colossal. She says the blame, though, lies with whoever is booking the travel for the board. She did mention tonight in the meeting that not all board members need to go on all of the trips. She is going on a trip this month on school district business. She says that one could not be cancelled, and
Sure.
the next one is not
Period.
until December and is local. Now, the board has been in closed session since about 8 this evening. It's not clear when that will reopen to the public, but the regularly scheduled board meeting is next week, so we'll probably be back here again on Tuesday.
Everybody shouldn't be going, but I got a trip coming up. Can't
Well,
cancel
someone's
it.
gonna be. Well, it's too late. I mean, Bali, what are you going to do? We've got to see what's happening with schools over there.
This is the good season for Bali. If I
mean,
postpone.
She's at the White Lotus Resort. I guess that's how you find out how to run a school in Country Club Hills.
It works out this way because she has to go to Amsterdam in the fall. She can't push Bali. She can't do it.
Boy, those schools are so good in Amsterdam. We really got
They
to model
are.
after
Something
that.
to really, they won't have any money to model any of these things, but at least they know in their head what they could be doing.
Yeah, if we win the lottery, we could make these schools, you see.
Well, they can manifest it.
Oh.
Well, they could increase taxes, so then they could pay for the school,
Problem
and the
solved.
trips.
Yeah, great idea, Kenzie.
Yeah, but
Why do
then
we even have money? Let's give it right in.
when that tax money comes in, though, it's kind of like Frank the Tank. Oh, it's so good when it hits your lips, the tax money. And before you know it, you've chugged a whole bunch of tax money, you see.
It was an accident.
Yeah. Oh, what are you going to do? Well, listen, we'll follow this story till the end, and it's another one that's not going to go away. I have a feeling this could be on Piece of Garbage Madness coming up. An early 2026 Piece of Garbage Madness nomination.
Not the Cooper's Hawk in Orland Park.
No.
They're on Piece of Angel Heaven.
They're wonderful
Yes.
people. It's an incredible
It's
restaurant.
not their fault.
They just got hit in the drive-by.
Catching strays.
It really sucks because they didn't mention anybody else but them, That's where they just went to eat. That's all they did.
They dropped the damn Addy on that. Like, what is? It was unnecessary.
Can you imagine the waitress and she gets like a $1,200 tip and was, whoa, these people are very nice people.
I better not ask questions.
Maybe it's a mistake. No, they're like, nah, it's all free money.
Nothing matters.
That tip is for you, girl. Good job. Go down there and help out the people down there. Get a nice meal in Orland Park at Cooper's Hawk. Get some. I guess they got a great wine deal, Kenzie, you're trying to get in on?
No, they have this like amazing membership, and I want it, but nobody else in my family drinks wine, and so it sucks because like then I just have to be like a total wino and go hard to drink all the bottles every month.
The baby doesn't want any wine?
No, nobody wants it.
Tristan?
And I love it. I want to be in the membership so bad.
You know, over in Europe, 10-year-olds drink wine.
Yeah, I'm going to get him on the train soon. You know,
Just saying, we're very repressed here. We're so uptight here. Tristan the Cooper's Hawk is drinking wine with you.
You're telling me they can send me off to war and I can't have a glass of wine at Cooper's Hawk?
It's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's
well, I don't
embarrassing.
think my 11-year-old could go to war either.
Well, not yet.
It's coming.
Jeez. 312-591-8300. Text in your takeaway from today's show right now. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Dougie Styles in for Lauren again today, so stick around for that gloriousness. And we have your takeaways coming in from today's show that we've done. Something was memorable to you, 312-591-8300. Case, what do you got?
Takeaway from Joe, what happens in Vegas ends up in Country Club Hills.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they thought it wasn't going to.
Kenzie, what do you got?
Takeaway from Alejandro. Ew, penis hands. True.
It's true. And finally, I think Frank's take from 815 sums up not only today, but just pretty much the show in general. If you're going to be evil, be the most evil you can possibly be. Don't half-ass it. Case, what do you got on the podcast?
It's a loaded day on the Brian and Kenzie podcast. Brian mourned the loss of being able to stare at free feet in the airport. We had to talk about that for the second day in a row. And if you've ever wondered what a good foot looks like, boy, do we have the answers for you in that podcast. Also, a clash with Kenzie for the ages today. A ton of fun. A very long, very stressful game, but we got there in the end. But the big thing, obviously, it's Wednesday head-to headlines on the feed as well. But corruption in Country Club Hills, we've been alluding to it during these takeaways. We talked about it a minute ago. But if you missed the full breakdown of what is going on in that school district in Country Club Hills, District 160, you will not believe the audio from WGN we have, the commentary from us. That is worth going back. If you missed it this morning, go back to the Brian and Kenzie podcast and give it a listen. You will not want to miss that.
Late takeaway edition here from Jesse in 773. Takeaway. Case may be fat, poor, and lonely, but at least he has Oasis tickets. Huh? Huh?
What am I supposed to say to that? What? Thank you?
You're supposed to go,
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.